Are you preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance exams? BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA, your one-stop solution for all MBA exams related questions. Watch unique strategies to ace CAT, XAT, SNAP, IIFT, TISNET, CMAT and other important MBA entrance exams. Tips and tricks to boost score, subject-wise and chapter-wise sessions, previous year's questions, exam-related update and notifications, live exam analysis and actual questions discussion. So why wait? Subscribe to BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated.
Good afternoon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everybody. Hello, Dharmi, Sweetie, Maheshwari, Bharti. Good noon to all of you. Right. So, as part of our grammar capsule, we have already discussed nouns and pronouns, right? Today is the turn to discuss articles. So, as the session is called, Articulate Better with Articles. See, every part of grammar, everything that you learn in grammar makes you better in communicating with others, right? It makes you a better communicator. So, when let's say you learn nouns, when you learn the right usage of pronouns, when you learn the right usage of articles, it will definitely make you a better communicator. Hello Anuja, hello Ravi. Right. So, you notice that this is something that is relevant for all your all your non-CAT exams as well as for your CAT exam, right? Because why is correct grammar something that is relevant for all exams? First of all, various non-CAT exams ask you grammar questions. Secondly, even in CAT, you want to comprehend RC passages smoothly. Yes, you don't want to be troubled by at least grammar there. Students are sometimes troubled by vocabulary. I don't want them to be troubled by grammar there. Right? Plus, it's very relevant for your stage 2, your WATs, your writing ability tests. In your essay, if you write incorrect grammar, no, it puts the evaluator off. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So that's one reason. Further, in your PIs, in your personal interviews, your grammar is reflected in the way you speak, right? In what you speak. So again, good grammar is something that's very essential. Don't be just focused on vocabulary at the cost of grammar. Don't ignore grammar. Right? Hello, hi Vijay, hello Jayesh, Shailesh, Pope. Good afternoon, all of you. And yes, before I begin with the session, as I ask you, tell me what are articles. Don't give me the 3 articles. I want you to tell me what articles are. Yes. Let's see what you say. What do you understand by articles? Why do I need articles? What's the role of a in a sentence? Why do I need this a? Why do I need this an? Why do I need the? They must be serving a function, right? Good noon, Sonali. Waiting for your responses. Yes. Why do you think I need articles? Why do I need a or an? See, every part of speech, let's say, or here articles, so they serve a function, otherwise they wouldn't exist, right? So see, Kalyani says sometimes we want to convey the sense of a number, right? Of the number 1, right? And that's why we say I have a pen. So I have 1 pen. Okay. I have a pen, but it's not a gel pen, right? So a and the, you're absolutely right. These are articles. So they serve multiple functions in a sentence. So for instance, sometimes a is used to convey the sense of 1, right? So instead of saying I have 1 pen, you say I have a pen. Okay. Then sometimes it is also used when you want to talk about something in a general sense, right? So a flower is a beautiful thing, right? So you are talking about flowers in general here, that flowers are beautiful. A flower is nature's gift to us, right? So in that generic sense, sometimes you use it. So all of these articles have specific functions, and these are the functions that you should know, okay? Because that's the reason that they exist in English in grammar, right? To identify the number of nouns, to specify something, absolutely. So basically to make something definite. If I say the park is not well maintained, that means I am talking about a specific park here, a definite park here, a park that I have particularly in mind, right? That park I'm talking about. So this is the function that they serve, okay? Articles are a type of determiner, okay? And these determiners, they serve the function of specificity. They lend specificity to a noun or a pronoun. Okay, so they make it specific. Instead of, let's say, keeping it general, they make it definite. Sometimes they keep it indefinite. So that's why a and an, they are indefinite articles, while the is a definite article. Right? Okay. So yes, to develop that relationship of specificity with the noun. Correct, Sahil. Absolutely correct. Right? So I have a pen and an apple. So a pen and an apple. That also gives you the difference between a and an. Yes? I will ask you as we proceed the difference between a and an. I think most of you already know this. We'll just revise it. Right? So let's come to some questions. Again, the idea is that through these questions, I have tried to fit in as many concepts as I could in these questions. Okay? The idea is to teach you a number of concepts related to articles. However, even after this session, I strongly advise you to read the chapter on articles from a standard grammar book, because once you learn these rules, articles become relatively easier. I'm not saying that they become easy. Articles is not a very easy topic, because a lot of times it depends on the intent of the author, intent of the speaker. वो बोलना क्या चाह रहा है, right? So a lot of times the usage of articles depends on intent. However, learning the rules, knowing the rules makes them easier. ठीक है? All right, then let's begin. And here I have the first question. Yes. So the directions are given to you. The given sentence has been broken up into different parts. Identify the part that has an error. If there is no error, of course, you will mark E, no error, as your answer. Right? Okay, I've got my first response. Praveen says C. All right. Sonali also says C. Rishabh C. Others? Yash says C. Sahil says B. All right. Dharmi C. Into a close contact. Okay. All right. Shailesh C. Others. Yes. So I've got 7 responses so far. C. Okay. Most of the students say C. Any other option that comes to your mind? It's okay. There's no negative marking here or in the exam for that matter. In MHCT also there's no negative marking. In other non-CAT exams there is negative marking, right? NMAT is now adaptive. So there the concept of negative marking does not arise. They mark in a different way, right? However, exams like SNAP, IFT, they do have negative marking. MHCT, no negative marking. All right. So basically two students say D, the others say C. Let's see what the answer is. So for the last 25 years, my work as an evolutionary biologist, okay, this is fine, has brought me into close contact. This preposition into is also correct here. Some of you are saying that a should come here. Okay, we will see. With wide range of human societies. Shouldn't I say with a wide range of human societies? With a wide range. Yes, a range. It's a range, right? Range is a sort of a series with lower and upper limit, right? So it should be with a wide range. With a wide range. The idea is it's one range, right? That I'm talking about. So here into a close contact. See, when we say I am in contact with him. I am in contact with him. Do we say I am in a contact with him? I am in a contact with him. Are you still in contact? Yeah, we are in contact. So, brought into close contact does not require a here. It is not a countable noun here. It is not serving as a countable noun here. So, for learning articles, you should be very clear with the concept of countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns that can be counted. Uncountable nouns that cannot be counted. Basically, here you can directly assign the number 1, 2, 3 before them. Here you cannot do that. Now, here when I talk about contact, I am not talking about it in the sense of a countable noun. There are certain nouns that can serve as both countable and uncountable. Now, contact is one such noun, right? So, when I talk about the list of contacts that I have in my mobile phone, that's when it's a countable noun. But here, when I talk about coming in contact with someone, right? So, during the COVID days, we avoided coming in contact with other people. Do we say we avoided coming in a contact with other people? No, right? So, this is that contact. So, is not required here. This is an uncountable noun. Contact is serving as an uncountable noun here. Contact can be both in different contexts. Countable also, uncountable also. Because it is here uncountable, no, required a wide range of human societies, and that's why D is the answer. It's a range, right? You can have multiple ranges also, right? Now, Rishabh is saying, shouldn't it be in close contact? So, I expected this query to arise. That's why I put it here. See, in close contact is also fine. But into close contact is also not incorrect. Why? Because into is a preposition. Into is a preposition that indicates movement. Hai. So, you have been brought into close contact. There has been a movement in that direction, right? So it's not a literal movement. It may not be a literal movement. For instance, she jumped into the pool, or he came into the room. It's not a literal movement in that sense, but it's a movement nonetheless in a particular direction. He brought me into contact, right? So I hope this makes sense to you. D is the answer, right? Now, so this was your first question. Here we learned that how to use articles with countable and uncountable nouns. Now because there is a and an also here. Wait, it's there in other questions also. So let's just wait. Let's hold our horses and we will attempt that question. Right. So question 2 here. Let's see what you say, whether there's an error or not. Let's see. Questions on the animal origins of human disease lie behind some of most important issues in human health today. Praveen has answered the fastest again, and he says C. Others, Priya says C, Sonali C, Anuja, Rishabh, Bharti, Dharvi C. Okay, so this seems to be a unanimous C. Kalyani, Kinjal, Krishna says A. Okay, so Krishna, why A? What's wrong with A? So C is incorrect here. Okay, C has an error. because it should be some of the most important issues. Correct. Right. Rishabh, Dharni, Kinjal, all of you are correct. Right. So most, when do we use most? We use most with superlative degrees of adjectives, with the superlative degree of adjectives. Right. He is the most intelligent person I know. Right. He is the most intellectual person. He is the most what has happened to my vocabulary? He's the most talented person, right? So, okay, all the related words only are coming to my mind right now. So, the most. Before the superlative degree of adjectives, we require the. Okay, so before most, we require the. Okay, so now I'm giving you a sentence. Tell me if it is correct or not. This is a most expensive school. Or simply put, this is most expensive. Is this correct? Are these two sentences correct or not? The sentences that I've written. So Kalyani says no, they are incorrect. Sonali also says they are incorrect. Okay. This actually is a very limited usage of most. It is not incorrect, it's an exception to the rule. Here, most is acting as an adverb, and here it means very. This is a very expensive school. This is very expensive. Okay. So, in this sense, when I use it as very, when I use it as an adverb, when I use it as an adverb and I use it as very, then it is fine to use it without the. But as I said, this usage is very, very limited. In most of the cases, you use it to mean the superlative, the most important issues, right? So that's why this is erroneous here, right? I hope this makes sense to you. This was a limited usage. In fact, even if you check the dictionary meaning of most, no? So, look up the dictionary. When you check the dictionary meaning, here, you will find that as an adverb, it means, okay, to the greatest extent, to the greatest extent. The things he most enjoyed, the things he most enjoyed. So, we are not saying the things he the most enjoyed, right? So, this is a very limited usage of most where it means very. Okay? It was most kind of you. It was most kind of you. So, it was very kind of you. Does this make sense? Any query? Ask me. Kind of you. Alright. One of you said A. Let's look at A. Do you feel that there should be an article here or do you feel that there should be an article here? Questions. Plural countable noun. Questions is a plural countable noun. Right. So, plural countable nouns can exist without articles. They can exist without articles. Right. So, for instance, apples have become expensive these days. Apples have become expensive. So, I did not say the apples have become expensive. So, question similarly, if I'm talking about it in a general sense, I can skip any article here. Okay. Some of, see, even if you say some of, even if you mean it in that sense, I'm just, although it doesn't mean very, but even if it meant that, you would say some of the very important issues, some of the issues, right? Some of the issues. So, some of the important issues, some of the very important issues. You would still need the here. Okay. Why? Because of some of the issues. Because here I'm talking about some specific issues, some of the issues. Right? Even then you would need the. Hope this clarifies. Okay. Can you repeat the most part? Which part do you want me to repeat? I told you that this is a very limited usage of most. In this sense, it means very and not something that is of a superlative degree. So this is most expensive. It was most kind of you. That means it was very kind of you. This is most expensive. This is very expensive. Now it does not mean the, right? This is a most expensive school. This is a very expensive school. Okay. Now, plural countable nouns, they can be used without articles. Questions on the animal origins of. Am I talking about a specific disease or am I talking about diseases in general that plague human beings, that affect human beings? Yes. Am I talking about a specific disease here? I am not. Okay. I am not talking about a specific disease here. So this is a very important lesson for you to realize when I am talking about something specific, when I am not. When is something being used as a countable noun? When is it not? Just like contact was not countable in our previous question, here disease is not countable. Okay, you are using the word disease to refers to the general diseases that human beings suffer from. It's being used in an uncountable sense. Okay, so for instance, when we say disease and let's say poverty and disease affected that village, poverty and disease affected that village, so we are talking about here not for of a particular disorder, we are talking about uh, the fact of suffering from diseases in a general sense, right? I hope this is clear to everybody. Yes. Okay, and I also hope, just a second, am I visible and audible to everybody? Because suddenly the chat box has disappeared. Just a second. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So, this is clear to everybody. C is the answer. We have also learned the limited usage of most. We've learned that plural countable nouns, when we are talking about them in a general sense, they do not require any article. We've also learned that disease here has not been used in a countable sense. I'm not talking about one particular disorder. It is here uncountable. Okay? So no article required. All right. Okay then. Question 3. Let's come to question 3. So, as I said, articles can be a little complicated because we have to understand whether the noun is a countable noun, uncountable noun, in which sense has a particular word been used, what is the intended meaning, right? So, let's have a look at this. I think this is easy. You will be able to do this. 3. There is dash profound existential crisis being faced today by those who are at dash fringes of dash Indian politics. Easy question. The cross stands for no article required. Priya says C. Okay. Shruti says C. Dharmi C. Praveen C. Bharti also C. So there is a profound crisis. Absolutely correct. Just by looking at the first blank, we could have answered this. Sorry. So there is a profound existential crisis. Right? What is the plural of crisis? What is the plural of crisis? Let me give you options, okay? Plural of crisis. Right. Uh, crisis remains crisis. Okay. Then crises. And yes, crisis. What do you say? C is the answer here. You're absolutely correct. What is the plural of crisis? There is a profound existential crisis being faced today by those who are at the fringes. Why will I need the here? Because I'm talking about particular fringes, some definite fringes, those of Indian politics. Those of Indian politics. The fringes of Indian politics. No article required here. Those of Indian politics. Right? Because here I see those of the Indian politics. that would not be wrong, okay, of the Indian politics. Then you are in the sense saying that, okay, I'm now kind of distinguishing it from other politics. However, Indian politics, because you're talking about it in a general sense, even Indian politics works, right? It is CRISES, CRISES, crises. Okay, it functions just like axis. Okay, axis also becomes axes, right? AXES. So crisis, crises, axis, 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 axis. So C is our answer here. The and no article. No, crisis does not remain crisis. We have a plural, SES, SES, right? Okay. Now, coming to our next question here. Fourth, any queries, please keep on asking. Okay, articles can be a little tricky at times, but now the questions that we're doing, they are relatively easy. The fill in the blanks. On Wednesday, Iran said that it had detained two Europeans just hours after the European Union envoy touched down in Dash capital in Dash last-ditch effort to save Dash tattered atomic accord. Yes. Okay. E, all right. Others. Okay. So, a lot of times we are able to attempt these fill in the blanks just by thinking what sounds correct. Okay, and it's not a bad strategy. I think you'll get 70% of your questions correct using this. What sounds correct? So sounds correct, right? For the other 30%, you need to learn grammar rules. That's why we are doing grammar, right? E is the answer, absolutely correct. Okay, one of you says C. We'll look at C as well. Now, first of all, we are talking about a specific capital. Iran said that it had detained two Europeans just hours after the European Union envoy. You can pronounce it as envoy also. Both the pronunciations are correct. Actually, it comes from French. That's why envoy is also correct. Just like envelope, both are correct, right? European envoy touched down in the capital. We are talking about a specific capital, that of Iran, right? So, the capital, C eliminated, D eliminated, A eliminated. In a last ditch effort, effort is singular countable, plural is efforts. In a last ditch effort. But tell me something, why did I not use an here? Because we say an effort. She's making an effort to succeed. So why did I not use an here? Why a? Yes, tell me. Why a here? Why not an? What governs whether we use a or an? Let's see what you say. Want to listen to your answers? Want to see your answers. I can't really listen to them. Yes. So, double the wala concept. No, I'm talking about a or an here. Why did I say a last ditch effort and not an last ditch effort? Because a or an is governed not just by the noun that comes after them, but simply the word that comes immediately after them. Or an is governed simply by the word that comes immediately after them. If the word that comes immediately after them has a consonant sound, if it has a consonant sound, remember I'm focusing on the word sound, then we use a. If it has a vowel sound, then we use an. Right? So, she is carrying a blue umbrella. She is carrying a blue umbrella. versus she is carrying an umbrella. Right? Because here what comes immediately after is blue. Right? And here it is umbrella. That's why. So all the swar in Hindi, e, till ang, hai, they are your vowel sounds. Right? So what will come before our, okay, or an. In our also the sound of ver is very muted to the point that sometimes people say r, right, which is also not incorrect. So or an, our or r, or an, European, or an. What will come here? Your. Yes. What do you say? First, second, third. So in the first one you say an because the sound is of a, right? A. It's not her. That's why an. Correct. What about the second one? Correct, correct. An hour. What about the second one? Anuja says a European. Yes, very good. It's a European. A European. Why? Because the sound is not of E now. The sound is not E. The sound is Y. Right? This is not a vowel sound. This is a consonant sound. Vyanjan. We call them Vyanjan in Hindi. In case you've read it, in case you haven't, please tell me. Then I'll give some other examples, right? I'll explain it in some other way. So, a European. Okay. So, this is a consonant sound. And how about this? The last one. So, Priya says a year. What about others? A year. Okay. Shouldn't it be an? Yes. Oh, sure. So it is a year. Okay, a year because the pronunciation is year. Year hai again, year. Okay, it's not ear. Ear ye wala hota. This is ear. So an ear. This is fine. An ear. This is fine because this is e. Right? So, Om, I hope this helps you. All the swar wala sounds, a, o, ang, hai. These are all vowel sounds. All the vyanjan, ka, kha, ga, gha se leke, bilkul ya tak, right? They are what? They are consonant sounds. So you just have to know the pronunciation of the word. If you know the pronunciation fine, correctly, then you will not face a problem. So it is a. So it has to take an. It is year, so it has to take a, right? It is again a, so it has to take an, right? So this is how you decide. Okay, a distinguishing feature, again, if you want to go in its depth, a distinguishing feature of vowel sounds is when you say you will see that your tongue does not touch anywhere in the mouth, right? But when you say ka, there is a slight touching of the tongue to the palate. So when you use these vyanjans, right, there is when you use these consonant sounds, the tongue will touch somewhere or the other, either the lips or the palate. Okay, but okay, you won't find the tongue touching the palate or the lips a lot, right? So that's one difference. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you. I have gone in depth of this. E is the answer here. Coming to the fifth question, let's see what you say. Fifth question, let's see what you say. D, E, okay. D, E, D, D, alright. Some of you are saying E. Okay. So, these are specific, these are particular steppies, right? They are not just about any steppies, they are particular steppies. Which steppies? Those that were there, not, I have talked about the location of these steppies. What are steppies? Yes. What are steppies? Tell me. Does it have anything to do with the grasslands? Steppies? Hmm. Tell me. They are grasslands, okay? They are those grasslands where, let's say, you didn't have a forest, or if you had a forest, then that was cleared. So those are called steppies, right? So E, D, A lot of you are saying E. Okay, so the steppies, that is for sure. So this A is eliminated, C is eliminated, right? Now the question is, should the come here or should it not? That's the question. So for this, again, I strongly recommend that you do pick up a grammar book. In various grammar books, different geographical features have been discussed, and whether a, an, or the is used before those geographical features. Basically, the idea is whether the is used before a geographical feature, or it's not used. That's the confusion usually. So with rivers, with the names of rivers, seas and oceans, the is used. The is used. So the Ganga, the Brahmaputra, the Red Sea, the Black Sea, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, right? So the is used here. So this is also eliminated. It comes down to the first blank. Yes? The transformation of warfare, the way wars are fought, the transformation of the technique of fighting war by, are we talking about some specific horses or horses in general? We are not talking about some specific horses. We are saying that earlier, let's say, horses were not in the picture. People didn't fight using horses. But warfare transformed when we started using horses. Earlier, horses were not used. So we are not talking about any specific horses here. We are talking about the usage of horses, use of horses in general. Okay, that earlier it wasn't there. Okay, so I used just thrilled that you got the correct answer. Good. All those who marked D, absolutely correct. Okay, good. Praveen, Ayush, Vijay, Anuja, Ajay, okay, and Shailesh. All right. So these are answered here. And with rivers, seas, and oceans, we do use the. Remember that. Okay. So I hope you've been enjoying the session. You like the session. If you do, then please press the like button. That will show me that you do, right? And do subscribe to the channel. That will keep you updated on all the sessions that we keep conducting. Okay. And this is your sixth question. Now we come to various concepts within one question. You have to identify which of these is incorrect. Four of them are correct. One is incorrect. Yes. Let's see what you say. That's okay, Ayush. You can watch, you can watch the recording later on for the part that you missed. E, okay. C, all right. Priya says C. Shailesh D. Priya E. C, D, E, okay. Others, yes, come on. I want enthusiastic responses. Karan says cross. Karan, which option does that mean? B, C. All right, all right. Let's have a look. So, meanwhile, you can keep answering in the chat box because nobody said A. So, that means everybody thinks that A is correct. She could not describe the joy that she felt after getting the award. We are talking about a specific joy here, a particular joy here, a definite joy here, the one that she felt after getting the award. Okay, so a lot of times, although that ideally, see, if I go by strict grammar rules, that should be mentioned here, but sometimes that is skipped. That's why it has been skipped here. She could not describe the joy she felt after getting the award. Specific joy, so the is correct. Then let me see if somebody said B. B, all right. Nothing can match the joy a pet gives you. Again, specific joy. The joy that a pet gives you. Specific joy. Same logic in A and B. Now, her music is the joy to listen to. What I'm saying is her music is a joy. What I mean to say, her music is a joy to listen to. It's a joy. See, you would say this, no? It is a joy. It is a joy to listen to her music. It is a joy to listen to her music. That means it's a joyful activity. So basically you are referring to it as joy. You will not say it is the joy to listen to her music. Right? It's a joyful experience. It is a joyful experience to listen to her music. So a is required here, not the, and therefore C is the answer. Okay, A and B are correct. Right? Everybody gets it? Those who mark D and E? Shailesh, Priya, Pope, Om, Kinjal, Bharti. I hope this is clear. Now, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. I think if you remember that poem, A Thing of Beauty, you would not have got this. You should not have marked this actually. This is from a poem that I think I studied in class 9. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. It's something increases, it never decreases, something of that sort. Yeah. So it is a joy. It's again a joyful, it's a source of joy. That's what you mean here. It's a source of joy. Source of joy. So we are talking about one source of joy here, right? E is also fine. You are using these as abstract nouns. Peace and joy. These are the two things. Peace and joy are what one lives for. What one lives for. Peace and joy are what one lives for. So that's why C is our answer. Okay? All right. I imagine Ayush dancing whenever he gets something correct. Does that happen, Ayush? To feel is also sort of to feel the joy of her music. See, yes. Now, if you say the joy of her music, let's say you say that the joy of her music, then you would use the because you are talking about a specific joy here. So, see, whenever we have the of phrase after a noun, and in that of phrase, I am specifying what that joy belongs to, what that joy belongs to, then I should use the, right? But here you are not saying the joy of her music. You are saying it is one joyful experience to listen to her music, right? And that's why it should be a, right? Had you said, see again, so see, the way we phrase something matters. It is the joy that her music offers, that her music offers, that has kept me alive, that her music offers, that has kept me alive. Now you will say the. Why? Because of this that phrase, that her music, this that clause actually, that her music offers. So now again you are talking about a specific joy. But here the intention is not to specify the kind of joy, okay, the type of joy. The idea is to specify that वो अपने आप में एक joyful experience है. ठीक है? That is why. So that phrase, off phrase, when they specify the noun, they make it particular and then we use the. Okay. Now, we're close to the right answer. Okay, okay. Yes, yes. John Keats said that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. A thing of beauty, right? Uh, yes, Ayush, absolutely. We should. Uh, just a second. End up marking the wrong one. So, Om, does this happen always? In that case, you should go against your hunch then, right? So, whenever you feel okay, you've narrowed down to A and B, then you are just about to mark it, don't mark it, mark B. Okay, just kidding, just kidding. So, mostly students are stuck between two close options. It's a very, very common phenomenon. So, again, it's by attempting more and more questions that you will realize what is the error. You'll be able to pinpoint those errors, right? And if you have done the concepts, trust me, if let's say you came to this session after having read, let's say, a standard grammar book on articles, let's say you came to the session after that, you would be able to spot various errors here, okay, in all the questions, right? Okay, it's a class 12 poem. Oh, then probably I also read it in class 12. I don't remember. It's been ages now. Acha. I shouldn't think so much. But if I stop thinking, then who will tell you the right answers? Yes, we should. We are thinking beings, right? Human beings are thinking beings. Okay. So sixth, which of them is incorrect? Now four of them are correct. Which is incorrect? One incorrect. Tell me. Acha, we have done this. Sorry. Uh, which is correct? Four of them are incorrect. अब यहाँ पर एक correct है. One is correct. Tell me what is that? Which is that? Acha, Om को कहा था. I would suggest you to not think so much. Acha, I thought you were saying this to me, Ayush. Yes, Om. Sometimes actually overthinking can be detrimental. Sometimes students first mark the right answer, then they just keep on cross-checking, confirming, reconfirming their answers, and then they end up marking the wrong one. That happens. Okay. Makarand asked about synonyms, antonyms. Okay, so synonyms, antonyms, any reference book for that? I don't have a reference book as such that I would recommend. Uh, the same sources that I recommend every time. WordPad Made Easy, then Vocab Builder by Magoosh, that app. And because you're particularly asking about synonym antonyms, there are GRE word lists. Okay, so GRE 3000, GRE 800. So these word lists have some of these lists. You can Google. Some of them have synonyms and antonyms both along with the word. So in case you are interested, then you can go for these word lists. Okay. So you can go for, let's say, 10 words every day, and that way you'll be able to finish, let's say, the 800 word list in 80 days, right? So go for this. I did share it in the Telegram group. I'll share it again today in case you're interested. Okay. Are they asked very frequently in CET? They are asked in CET, that much I can tell you. Okay, so if you pick up your previous year papers, you will see them, one or more question in almost every year. So yes, that makes them frequent, but the number varies every year. Sometimes there are just two questions, sometimes there are five, sometimes there are seven. So the number varies every year. All right, so some of you have answered A, B, D, A, B, D. Okay, let's see. I learned the French. Are you learning the English with me? Yes, or are you learning English? I like Hindi or I like the Hindi? Before the names of languages, we do not require any article. So I learned French from the Frenchman. Incorrect hai. With a the, this is incorrect. Okay. Then A and B also I've got. I can play guitar and sitar. So this is a very, very common error. Just like we did one of my favorite songs yesterday, no? I told you this is a very common error. Students say one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite songs. This is another common error that I've seen people making. I can play the guitar and the sitar. Before the names of musical instruments, when you're talking about playing them, when you're talking about, let's say, the fact that you like to listen to a particular instrument, you would say, I can play the guitar. I like to listen to the guitar, right? So, the guitar, the sitar. Alright. So, that's why this is also incorrect. A. My mother is a teacher and my father is a scientist. This is absolutely correct. My mother is a teacher, correct, and my father is a scientist. When you talk about someone's profession, you do use a before it. In fact, before profession, religion, nationality. Profession, religion, nationality, we use a. So, for instance, if I say, she is a teacher, he is a Muslim, he is an Indian, right? So, or an, whatever fits. So, he is a, let's say, which other nation can I use? He's an African. In that case, that would refer to the whole continent. Uh, if I say he's a Sri Lankan boy, right? So So again, or an before nationality, or an before religion, or an before profession required. So is fine. Okay. All right. What is the error? No, there is no error. I have written the correct one. This is the correct expression. This is one of my favorite songs. It should be songs. A lot of students say song. That is erroneous. That is erroneous. Okay. Now, why is C incorrect? Who will tell me? Why is C incorrect? An Australian, yes. An Australian, an American, an Armenian. Correct, correct. So C. Why is C incorrect? Quickly tell me. 3 more questions to go after this. Whenever we talk about mountain ranges, again, geographical features, we return to geographical features. Whenever we talk about mountain ranges, we should put the before them. So, the Alps, the Andes, the Himalayas. But if I talk about a single mountain, then the is not necessary. So, Mount Kilimanjaro, not the Mount Kilimanjaro, right? So, Mount Everest is fine without the, but a lot of people say the Everest just to highlight its uniqueness, just to highlight its importance. Okay, otherwise Mount Everest is absolutely fine. You need not put the before it. Okay, the Himalayas. Correct. Absolutely. E, okay. So I will explain E to you in another question. Here comes another question. Wait, I think, yes, this is the question. I'll explain the concept of E to you in question 8. Let's see. Which of the following sentence or sentences is correct? And these are your options. Let's see what you say. Why my is used 2 times in the sentence? Where? My mother and my father. So, because you want to specify that this person is your mother and your father. So, my mother is a teacher and my father. If you do not use anything, it's a singular countable noun. It does require something before it, right? Either you put an article or you put some other determiner. So, here you've put a possessive determiner, my father, right? You can't say my mother is a teacher and father is a scientist. So, my is required, right? Okay, yes, question 8. Okay, Prem says both 1 and 3 are correct, so that's C. All right. Okay. Others, yes. C, all right. Okay. This is a deep concept. Okay, let's learn this. This concept is called generic use of a, an, and the. By generic, I mean general, when I'm talking about them in a general sense. For instance, the peacock is our national bird. Is our national bird. Am I talking about a specific peacock here? एक वो वाला जो उस वाले जंगल में मिलता है? Yes. No, right? The peacock has been used to refer to the entire species, isn't it? So this is generic use. So generic use of the, I just showed you. If I say a tiger is a dangerous animal, a tiger is a dangerous animal. Yes. That means this is a very essential characteristic of a tiger, being a dangerous animal. Yes. A tiger is carnivorous. If I say a tiger is carnivorous, मैं किसी एक टाइगर की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ जो carnivorous है, right? I am talking about all the tigers out there. That okay, this is an essential characteristic of a tiger. So this is the generic use of a, right? And I mean, wherever you have a consonant, instead of a consonant sound, you have a vowel sound. There you would use an, right? So an elephant can walk up to 10 miles without a break. This is again something that is general of all the elephants, without a break. And I'm just making this up, I don't know this, okay? So don't take it as a GK fact. An elephant can walk up to 10 miles without a break. So I'm not talking about one elephant out here, generic use, right? So a student is expected to be punctual and attentive in class. Talking about all the students out there, that this is an essential characteristic. This is something that is essential, expected of a student, okay? Similarly, 3 is also fine. Students are expected, it is a norm, it is normal for students to be punctual and attentive, right? Essential characteristic, right? When I say this is something that is normal, students are expected to be punctual and attentive in class. So 1 and 3 are definitely correct. Okay, 1 and 3 are definitely correct. So either this or this, C or D. Now, what comes as a surprise to various students is that 2 is also correct. 2 is also correct. Now, you must be thinking, how is the correct here? Am I talking about a specific student? No, I am talking about students in general. So, how is the correct? It is following this logic. See, we say this, no, you expect the teacher to be skilled. You expect the teacher to be skilled. Are you talking about a specific teacher here? No, right? You expect the teacher. Just like the teacher is expected to be skilled, the student is also expected to be attentive. So here, I am talking about again all the students out there. I am saying that this is something that is typically expected of a student. This is something that is typically expected of a student. Yes? So, that is the difference. That is the difference between the student when I refer to a specific student, whereas something that is something that I expect to be typically true of all the students. So 1, 2, and 3 all are correct, right? Yes. I hope this makes sense to you. Ajay, does it make sense now? Just like the teacher is expected to be skilled, the student is also expected to be attentive, to be open to new learning. Yes? So, the Kavi generic use tha 1, 2, and 3 all are correct here. Now, let's come to the previous sentence. A tiger is in danger of becoming extinct. A tiger is in danger of becoming extinct. Now, is it, so there are two things here. Is it an essential characteristic to be a tiger? कि अगर आप in the danger of becoming extinct हो तो ही हम आपको tiger बोलेंगे. Yes. A tiger is carnivorous. That means, okay, being carnivorous is an essential characteristic to be a tiger. A tiger is a dangerous animal. That means being a dangerous animal is something that is required, something that is essential to be a tiger. Yes, because it's something that's true of all the tigers. But being in danger of becoming extinct, is it something that is true of, that is an essential characteristic to be a tiger? No, not. No, that's not the case, right? And lastly, one more thing. Even if you looked at it as one tiger, then of course this sentence is absolutely incorrect. One tiger cannot be in the danger of becoming extinct. It's always the entire species. It's always the entire species that gets extinct. ठीक है? So that's why E is wrong. Now, question has arisen. Could English be more complicated? I agree with you here. It can be complicated at times, right? That's my poor imitation of Chandler. What's the difference between 1 and 2? Okay. What if there is students instead of student? The students is expected. That would not make sense, now. The students is expected. Okay. If you say the students are expected, that means you are talking about some specific students now. The students are expected. Now you're talking about some specific students. Let's say the students who attend my lectures or the students who are in BCom honors. So some specific students are being discussed. Right. Now, what's the difference between 1 and 2? A very good question actually, and no grammar book will tell you this difference. One is used when you state something that is required of to be this category. So if when I say a tiger is carnivorous, so being carnivorous is required. The student here means that this is something that is typical. This is something that is typical of a student. Okay, required nahi hai, but usually it's a characteristic. It's a typical characteristic of a student. I hope this makes sense. So is more forceful that way. Okay. So good discussion. I like that, you guys like to go into the depth of what we are doing, right? And ask me questions that sometimes that, I have collected these answers over time by looking up multiple books, by actually Googling a lot of stuff, because these are not available in any one grammar book, right? Good. Question 9. This is a very easy one. We've already discussed it in some other sessions. Which of the following sentence or sentences is correct? Okay. I have a white and a black bag. You say two. Acha, two is sorry. The options, I'm sorry. A, B, C, D. That is missing here, no? So I am assuming by two you mean only one and two. All right, all right. What else? Yes. A, okay. All right. Only one. B, okay. So just 7 enthusiastic students. I am now memorizing the names of these 7 students. I'll now answer their queries only. Only 2, okay. Only 2 is not mentioned. It's not there in the options. Okay, so both of these are correct. When I say I have a white and black bag, that means okay, I have one bag, it's let's say partially black and partially white. Okay, when I say I have a white and a black bag, that means I have two bags. One is white and one is black. Repetition of article. We have done this concept earlier. So both of these are correct. The meanings are different. The meanings are different. This is incorrect. You have to put some article for bag. Okay, so I have at least one article is required. You can't say I have white and black bag. Right? This is incorrect. Okay, at least one article was required there. Okay, hope this makes sense to you. One article was required. Bag is a singular countable noun. You can't use singular countable nouns without, let's say, an article or a determiner. Okay, so you can't say girl is playing in the garden. A girl is playing in the garden. Yes. So, a bag, not bag. All right. The last question for the day. How many articles are missing in this sentence? Tell me. Last question for the day. Let's see what you say. Praveen says B. So Ashish L has not come today, yes? I didn't see him in the chat box. Ashish L. Ayush is here. Okay, Ayush says C, 100% C. Okay, Priya says C. Ash says 2, B. Okay. Tingle says 3. Ayush is very sure that C is the answer. You are absolutely correct. C is the answer. This is a book. This is a book of remarkable scope. This is a book of remarkable scope and one of the most important and readable works on the human past published in recent years. It's a specific past, that of human being, right? So this is a book of remarkable scope and one of the most important and readable works on the human past published in recent years. C is the answer, right? And I'm talking about the book Sapiens here. Do give it a read by Yuval Noah Harari. I think I may have recommended it earlier as well. Good, good. Those who said C, very good. Any queries, please ask me. I am also here. You are also here. Yes. And I really like the kind of queries that you ask. Sonali asked some very pertinent queries last time. Then Prem and some of you, one of you who asked, okay, what is the difference between the student and a student? Very interesting queries. Good. Keep it up. So, if you enjoyed the session, yes, please do press the like button and do comment if you want something else to be covered. I have noted your suggestions. One of you mentioned synonym antonyms. One of you mentioned critical reasoning. We will be covering those in the coming sessions, right? And yes, do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and non-CAT exams. It will definitely help them. Okay. Also, we are starting with this series from 16th May. It's called CAT 2022 Decoded. Now, here we'll give you the strategy. We'll talk about what is your syllabus. We'll attempt some questions, okay? And we have sessions for each and every section out there, right? So, at 7 p.m. every day, this will happen from 16th to 30th May, okay? This is the program that we offer, right? If you enroll with us, this is all that you get. Okay, 135 plus live sessions. Okay, then 90 topics is what we cover with you, right? 300 plus recorded sessions are also there. It's not just live sessions, there are also async or recorded sessions. Full mock tests 70 plus because we cover all the exams here, right? 9,500 plus practice questions, 1,500 plus questions in class sheets. Okay, so imagine the number of questions that you're doing. Plus 4 books. So you don't need any other material if you have all of this. 5 live plus 10 recorded sessions for your next stage as well. So this is pretty comprehensive. Okay. Okay. Yes, Ajay, these were moderate level questions, okay. And I am not flawless, but it's just a result of practice over the years that I have become who I have become in English, right? And trust me, it's very achievable for all of you, right? Welcome all of you. Welcome, Prem. Can there be other way around, like readable words on human past in the recent years? Okay, just a second. Uh, the recent years is also fine. See, the recent years is also fine, but the thing is that without it, there is no error. Without it, there is no error. So that's why I said that it's a matter of intent. If you want to specifically emphasize the recent years, then you can say in the recent years, right? But in recent years is also correct. But without this becomes incorrect because I'm talking about the past of specifically someone or human beings. That's why the human past is required, right? Hope this makes sense, Priya. All right, and yes, stay connected. I will share the GRE word list again today in the Telegram channel. All right, and yes, it was a pleasure teaching all of you. I will now see you on Tuesday with another session, right? And yes, keep reading, keep studying, and keep asking questions. Bye. See you.